I'll find validity in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Hello friends, my name is Dara and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a book haul. Don't come for me, I have a lot of books, but yeah, once or twice a year our local bookstore does a $5 sale where everything, well, not everything because that would be wild, but they have books. I don't know how they determine what books, but there is books set out for $5 only. So this is what I've gotten so far this month, and I'm not going to say I won't buy anymore, but last time they actually were replenishing them with different books every week, and this time they haven't replenished. So if there's nothing new, then this is all I plan to buy, because the others just don't interest me. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, actually, let's start with these, which I got from the book swap. You guys know I'm a huge believer in book swaps. I had 2 copies of Brissinger and an extra copy of Crazy Rich Asians, so I put those out, and a couple of kids books, and I brought home 2 of these. One is Silver Bells by Fern Michaels and Out of the Rain by Debbie McComber. These are 2 great, well, this is a great author, and it's got a very fall-ish look and vibe, which I live for. You know, here I don't get it, or winter. So these 2 like fall and winter books, they called out to me, and I was like, all right, let me live through them. But I love a Christmas book. I'd love to do a Christmas readathon this year. Let me know if you know of any great ones. And this one I also like. Some books have like a tiny blurb on the front. This one says 2 ways to look at a marriage. I love books about marriage, relationships, or real life. Those are interesting. So I just thought I'd give these a try. And also what I wanted to show you is not a book, but a notebook that I got for $5. These are normally $20. So I got this one. It is a lined book, but it's lined with the actual novel of the Wizard of Oz. And on the front, there's a quote that says, "None of the scarecrows in Kansas ever wink." You guys know I'm from Kansas, and I loved this. And so you can use this as a lined notebook, or you can get a magnifying glass or strain your eyes to read the tiny, 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 tiny print. And I might do both. So stay tuned for that. But for $5, and it made me think about home, I had to get it. All right, and then the first actual novel I picked up was The End of Her. This one is by Sherry Lapina, and it's following a family. This husband and wife, they just had twin babies. They're colicky, you know, they're kind of struggling a little bit. And then a woman from her husband's past comes into their life and makes some pretty startling accusations. Because her husband's first wife died, and this other woman is claiming it was not an accident and that he murdered her. It says he insists that he's innocent. This is nothing but a blackmail attempt. And she knows things about her husband, and now she's starting to question him, but she doesn't know if it's like valid or if she's just letting this other woman get into her head. So it sounded really good. The next book I got is Inland by Taya Obrate. Yeah, Obrate. And this one, first off, is beautiful, yeah? And this one is a historical fiction, but it actually takes place in the territory of Arizona back in 1893, so this is way back. It follows Nora, who is a frontierswoman. She's very strong and capable on her own. Unlike some women in that time period, those out on the frontier kind of had to be that way, but of course, like, socialites didn't have to be. It says she's alone, awaiting the return of the men in her life. Her husband, who has gone in search of water for their parched household, and her elder sons, who have vanished after an explosive argument. Nora is biding her time with her youngest son, who is convinced that a mysterious beast is stalking the land around their homes. So, you know, it just sounds crazy, and there might be a little fantastical element in there with this beast, or it might be an actual beast. It's very long. Oh, no, it's not. It just feels thick, thicker than normal, but you know, I've been on a historical fiction kick lately, and historical fiction was my favorite to read before fantasy came around in my life. So it holds a special place. So if I see historical fiction and it sounds remotely interesting, I usually get it. And then the next book is The Last Guest House by Megan Miranda, and you guys will be shocked. Okay, I bought this 2 weeks ago and I've already read it. Who is she? I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. I actually read a book I bought right away. This one is not a mystery thriller, but it's definitely mystery suspense. Kind of like you need to like figure it out, or you follow along with the main character figuring it out. So this girl's best friend dies, and it's ruled as a suicide, but she swears up and down it wasn't. And throughout the book, you hear not different perspectives, but other people talking to the main character, this dead girl's best friend. And when you hear their stories, you're kind of like, oh, maybe it was suicide. And then you're like, well, maybe Avery had something to do with it, because it's Avery and her best friend Sadie. Sadie's the one who died. So it's very interesting, twisting and turning, and the ending, it was a surprise. I didn't actually see it coming. So that was a really good book. I would recommend it, but I had to haul it because I hadn't shown you guys it yet, and we got a little review with it. So definitely I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So if you like mystery books where you don't have to necessarily solve it, but you're kind of following the person who is, this is a good one. And I have another book of hers that I plan to read very soon because I'm really loving her writing. All right, well, the next book I have to show you guys is The Mirror and the Light by Hilary Mantel. And this one is another historical fiction, but it is set way back in 1536. And I just read the back to like refresh my mind. And apparently when I was at the store and I read it, you know, to see if it was interesting, I missed the fact that this is the 3rd book in a series. So, but it does take place with Henry VIII's era. I think he's alive in this book. Anne Boleyn has already died at this point, and we're following this main character, Thomas Cromwell. I don't really know what he's trying to do, but it's also the 3rd book in a series, so I messed up, but I'm gonna see if the online library has them because I really do love these time periods. You guys know I love Philippa Gregory as well, and I've read her White Queen series, and it's really a great time period, I think, to get immersed in. But I did mess up by getting the 3rd in a book, but who knows, maybe I will read the first 2 and love it and have this one to read in person, or maybe I'll hate the first one and I will donate this one. The next book is actually a reread for me, and it is Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. I checked this out from the library and I read it, and it was one of the funniest books. Okay, one of the funniest books. I absolutely love this book. I love Kevin Kwan. He is an amazing author. Not only does he tell a great story, but you will be laughing throughout points of these books, like all of his books. He also wrote Crazy Rich Asians series, and my gosh, I love a funny book, and I can't wait for his next one to come out. I need more funny Asian books. They are the best to like get lost in. But this one is following our main character, and she goes to this big overdone wedding, and she meets a guy there, and then her family's like, no, he's under your station, blah blah, and then they reconnect a while later, and it's just a crazy mess, but a hilarious mess. And you guys, I love this book so much. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you want to laugh out loud, you should read this book for sure. All right, I have 2 more books to talk about. The first one is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I'm gonna be honest, I have this on my TBR, but I could not remember what it was about, but I saw it for $5, which is a good deal considering this book is not very old and he's like a huge author. So is Kevin Kwan though. I think they just ordered too many copies of some things. Anyways, this is happening at a camp. One night, these 4 girls, they play two truths and a lie, which is a really popular game. I don't know if you've heard of it, but you tell 2 truths and 1 lie, and they have to determine which is the lie. And it says, the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door, hushing Emma with a finger to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings. Massive canvases filled with dark, gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as an art instructor. Wouldn't she like to put the past to rest? See, that already is giving me warning bells. Like, that alone, I would be like, you want me to come back so badly? Maybe you wanted us all to die and only them got caught up in it. But whether or not she goes back and what she finds, I don't know. But I've already got some theories going on in my head. But I will get to this at some point. Probably a spooky read, maybe. And the last book I picked up is Lights All Night Long by Lydia Fitzpatrick. And of course, what drew me to this is the cover. There's something about a wintry portrait. This one, you can see the snow reflecting off of the street light, and it just looks so beautiful. And maybe I'm alone in this, but I love the memories of like just looking out at night and seeing the snow falling against the street lights, and there's just like a blanket of soft, peaceful snow. Okay, I love that, and I miss it, but we get orders soon, so everyone cross your fingers that we get a snowy place. Even though Andrew doesn't want it, I don't care. It's my turn. It's my turn. So this one is following 15-year-old Ilya. She comes from Russia. Oh, I apologize. He comes from Russia to Louisiana to be an exchange student for a year-long thing, but he is consumed by the fate of his older brother Vladimir, the magnetic rebel to Ilya's doubtful wunderkind, back in their tiny Russian hometown. So when he got picked for the student exchange, Vladimir disappeared into their town's seedy, drug-plagued underworld. Just before he left, the murders of 3 young women rocked the town's usual calm, and Vladimir found himself in prison. So apparently he killed, or was accused of being killed, or accused of killing, I should say. So with the help of Sadie, who has secrets of her own, Ilya embarks on a mission to prove his innocence. His brother's innocence, piecing together the timeline of the murders and Vladimir's descent into addiction. Ilya discovers the radical lengths to which Vladimir has gone to protect him, a truth he could only have learned by leaving him behind. Lights All Night Long is a spellbounding story of the fierce bond between brothers determined to find a way back to each other. It was mostly a cover by, but I do, like I said, like family. I enjoy family dramas. And this sounds quite dramatic, so yeah, hopefully I can get to this relatively soon. Like, I don't know, we'll see. That is all the books that I have to show you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some great recommendations. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any recommendations for me to read, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you've read any of these books, definitely let me know in the comments how you feel about them so I can bump them up on my TBR if I need to. But I hope you guys had a great time, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!